Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Sean Malone here, co-founder of FlowChat. And I've been at this a long time, but I'm going to tell you one thing. There's this guy, Declan, who kicks major ass. He's a buddy of mine. He's a buddy of yours, and he wears dope ass robes. So check it out. He's in the robe.
Yeah.
And today is the day. I'm so excited to be one of the co-founders of FlowChat. FlowChat is an award-winning software. We've broken all the rules and disrupted the DM personal space. In fact, we're the category kings of that space.
For sure.
And we're continuing to emerge in this place. And because of people like Declan is a amazing case study, right? He had his VA go out and search all these different texts, and he found FlowChat, and FlowChat was the thing that answered his questions. What does FlowChat do? Really simply, it helps founders to connect and close deals in personal DMs, but not just one platform. It actually works across 14 of them. It's the only
Literally
one in the space
everything.
that it does everything, right? So I'm going to let Declan talk to you a little bit about that. But before I do this, I just want to share, Declan, from the bottom of my heart, congratulations on reaching our six-figure club. Woo!
Let me show you. Let me show you. I got this awesome award. This thing is huge, guys. Literally. It's a six-figure club. Was able to make 100K. I was also able to do it in, I would say, around 3 months. Zero ad spend. Zero ad spend.
Yeah,
So
and that's been the whole premise of FlowChat, right? Like you can actually replace ads, you can replace SEO and PPC and all the other methods because all we do is DMs at scale. And we have automations and AI pouring in all over on top of it. And we have this prestigious club. What six-figure club means is that Declan was able to do 6 figures of revenue within one single pipeline within one single calendar year. We also have a 7-figure award, which he's actually on his way towards right now. And I'm really
yes,
excited
sir.
about that. I
Yes,
can't
sir.
wait to send it to him. But Declan, tell me, like, I want to just bounce back and forth a little bit off you. First of all, where were you before meeting FlowChat? Like, what started this journey for you?
So yeah, great question, Sean. So a lot of this stuff I focused on, a lot of DMs, as always. I did run a lot of Facebook ads. I think a big problem is, and this is what really led me to FlowChat, is keeping your profit margins high. Because I had a lot of people that mentored me. I talked to a lot of people, and they will say stuff like, "Oh, dude, I just made $1 million last year." I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." And then they're like, "And it only, I only spent 950 grand to get it." And it's like, yeah, okay, cool. But one of the things that I was looking for is a way to scale DMs with not having a ton of, VAs, but not having my involvement. And like I said, and like you perfectly just introed in, I had my VA fucking check everything. No, I'm not being like, I'm not exaggerating. Like every single software out there. But what's crazy about FlowChat and what's crazy about this is you can get the kind of number like, the 100K stuff, but like have like 97 to 98% profit margins. And yes, you just have to set it up, but like that, like where else can you do that? I'm serious. And that's like literally the reason I was like, holy shit. And I contacted Hannah. Hannah was like, oh, I was like, yo, I was able to make 6 figures. This is crazy. Like no ad spend. Like, what is this? But that's kind of how I found you guys. And it just took off so fast. And
Yeah,
that's
dude,
why I wanted to
congratulations,
talk to
dude.
you
Like,
guys.
really, congratulations. I got the goosies, right? Like, I'm just like, oh man, like
Yeah.
97% profit margins. That's insane. And
Bro.
and yes, right. I mean, how long did it take you to actually do that, Declan? Like,
I think I sent Hannah my screenshots of Stripe and High Level of the accounts on the exact timestamps. I can pull them up later. I
just
think
estimate. It was
it
like a
was
couple
it was it was about 3 months. And Hannah was shocked. She was like,
90 days. Let's call it 90. Let's call it 90,
yeah,
95 days. So,
yeah.
so as you're sitting there listening to this, think to yourself, like, what would it mean in your business if you're able to generate another 6 figures for your bottom line at 90+% profit in your business? What would you do? What would you do with that money? How would you serve your family, your loved ones? How would you
Right.
actually go out and serve the community and make bigger impact? How would you'd have resources to be able to serve more people? Like that's what it's about, right? So Declan, that is incredible, right? Being able to do 90 days, you do $100,000, like compound that over and over and over,
Bro.
your business is
Well,
going to explode, which is crazy. Second question I got for you, dude.
wait, Sean, can I
Yeah,
just say
please jump in. Go.
one
Yeah.
quick thing? Huge thing too. And this is why when I introduce FlowChart or talk about this software and other people love it is, yes, the 100K was nice, but it was the time it saved me.
Mm.
Once I built my pipelines out, it wasn't like this. Oh, I have to keep doing stuff. It was literally like run the automation. Go for a run. Go take a shit. Run just anything. Let the automation sing, man. And I've never had that because even with Facebook ads, yes, you can scale. Don't get me wrong, Facebook ads are awesome, but there's just these different levels where it's like, shit. This is pretty predictable. You set it up, you have the right audience, and you move. So I just wanted to say that it's the time saving aspect too that just
Yeah, I love that you hit on that,
continue.
Declan. I think what's interesting is most people are like, oh, well, I could just use a spreadsheet or I could just use a script. Like, okay, that's fine. Let's walk the path. Just really quick before I ask my second question. So imagine this. You're going to do it with a spreadsheet and a script. That's how we started before we built FlowChat. And what does this mean? Well, you got to open a social profile. You got to click on some names. You got to click here. You got to do this. You got to go look at their profile. You got to click the open to message the inbox. You got to go to your script, which is another couple of clicks in your system. You copy the message, click, and then you paste, and then you send. And if you're really good at it, you're going to go report it on your spreadsheet. Like reporting is a big problem for a lot of people that do organic and just mess it up.
Oh, bro.
When FlowChat was designed and built, here's the numbers, statistically factual numbers over 350,000 DM conversations later. Here's the numbers. It took on average 21 clicks to send one message and track where it was going. After FlowChat, 3 clicks. Now with FlowChat, 1 click. So think about this. If you're trying to hit 100 people, and you've got to send 21 clicks to send each message to 100 people, how much time does that take you? Even if you're the fastest speedy fingers on the planet, 21 clicks per versus 1 click to all. That's the difference. That's the
leverage.
Time saver.
Yeah, volume times leverage.
Yes, 100%. Okay, second question, Declan, is this. What would you say FlowChat's allowed you to kind of really excel at and achieve?
Great question. I would say, so one thing I've always excelled in is the DM game. I have the DMs dialed in. I have a whole framework for that just crushes, and CNC, and I've done stuff with that where they've seen it and they've been impressed because I really have got that dialed in. FlowChat, it takes what you have, if you have something good, and I would say either 10x, 20x, 50x, whatever, inputs you're putting in, it just multiplies it to the nth power. That was the main thing. It was, I have this working. How do I do more of it?
Yeah.
My sales calls are going well. My leads are fucking awesome. This is great. How do I do more? And that's where, when I used FlowChat, it was, dude, I can just plug this in. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not the best tech person. I'm not. And the fact that I made FlowChat work is pretty impressive, but because it's not that hard, but which is crazy because most softwares, they tend to be pretty tricky to really get moving. But I plugged stuff in pretty easily, applied my frameworks, and to answer your question, it just magnified everything. Got my time back. It was a multiplier, which I think in business it's the best. What are you saying?
And totally true. I'm with you, man. And I think the other thing is people are thinking about this is like, look, maybe Facebook's your jam, maybe Instagram's your jam, maybe LinkedIn's your jam, whatever the case. I think as the world continues to turn and more things start to happen, it's not how deep can you go on one platform, it's how can you cover all of them at one time. So FlowChat actually gives you this ability, and it's built differently. It's new, it's rare, it's something that hasn't existed in the marketplace. We haven't even done any paid ads. Why? Because we don't need to, because we use the system to sell the system. Declan uses the system to sell his business. Yes, if you sell software, e-com, or you're a coach or a consultant, or you have a mastermind, or any of these use cases, 100% of 100%, even if you have a brick and mortar store, we've crushed it, right? Whatever industry and vertical, we've tested it, right? This is what's given me and Chris 30 years of practice at this game. Bro. We got really dang good at it. One-to-one communication at scale. And the last thing I'm just going to ask you here is this, Declan, because I think what's valuable for you is tell us, and I think this is the people that are aspiring to get to 100K, what does it mean to you to have built a 6-figure business? What does that mean to you?
It's a great question. I'm trying to think of a good answer. It means that it's not as hard as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
You know what it is? And I've been able to make 6 figures before, but it's making it this fast without slaving for it. You
100%.
know what I mean? Like you can making 600, making 200K a year, whatever. Like I've been able to do it, but it's been like mindless. Like it's been terrible. I'll be honest. But in 3 months,
Yeah.
3 months, and that's why I sent Hannah the screenshots. I was like, Jesus, this is incredible. Like I didn't have to like absolutely slave to do this, and that's what I had to do the last multiple years.
Yeah.
So I guess what it means is it's possible. And from someone like me who barely graduated high school and all this other great stuff, dude, it's possible. Especially if you can multiply your hard work using shit like FlowChat. You know what I mean? It's this kind of stuff that, especially for people that you get into this stuff, user friendly. You know what I mean? Simple. I just think it's possible for anyone. But I also think all of the people now that are, balls deep in Facebook ads and all this other shit, dude, there's another thing you can do that will not drain, your wallet or get your CAC and all this other stuff super skewed, so you're not really making any money or taking money home at the end of the day. Yeah. So at the end of the day, to answer your question, I know that was a really long answer, but it's possible without losing all your money.
Yeah, so nobody wants to lose their soul to being in the business and grinding, right? Like that's the other thing. Like, why did we build businesses in the first place? Is number one, to provide security to those around us, and number two, to provide our time so that we can go spend it with those people, right? And so this is one of the things that we focused on: reducing clicks. How does FlowChat as an organization consistently, always and forever, reduce the amount of clicks that you're going to make? Number one. And then number two, how do we make it as easy as possible so people, the average and ordinary person? I remember there's a girl, what was her name? I think it was I don't want to get her name wrong. It was Joanne. I think it was Joanne. She came to me and she said, Sean, I want to build a dog walking business. And I'd never been down the dog walking niche, right? And I was like, okay, cool. So in less than 20 minutes, we set up her first flow. We call them flows in their pipelines, right? So think of a Trello board, but designed specifically for DM messaging for personal profiles. So we designed this flow for her that was like 3 messages deep. And then we just turned it on and she hit the automation button and she started the process. And guess what? By the end of that first week, she hadn't even had any business. By the end of the first week, she had booked 5 calls.
Wow.
Have you booked 5 calls this week? I don't know. But she did it in the first hour and a half. Right. She sent me a screenshot. I have it somewhere. It's like, I just booked my 5th call. And I was like, an hour and a half. Like, that's got to be a record. Anyway, she ends up closing 3 of these deals. And then afterwards, she's like, I called her like 3 months later because I knew she was probably going to do really well. And 3 months later, she said, 90 days. I go, what are you up to? She's like, oh, Sean, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. I was like, no, I want to know. She goes, I don't walk dogs anymore. I was like, what? That's what you did. That's what the whole thing. Like, what are you doing? And she's like, no. It's better than that. I now have 25 people that walk dogs for me. And I use my one account to book out their entire calendar every single day. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, that's really, truly awesome. And so that was a niche that I know, like dog walking. Like, come on.
It's so random.
So random. And we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of those success stories that just go forever. So again, Declan, dude, you are a shining star. Thank you for being a shooting star. Thank you for repping the brand the right way. Thank you for being a super, in our tribe, we call them FlowChat super connectors. And right below this video, I know Declan's going to have an awesome link for you to go learn a little bit more and kick some ass. So make sure and click that link. Come visit us. We want to play with you. And definitely with his guidance, you too could probably do 6 figures in less than 90 days.
Sean, thank you. Appreciate your time, man.
Thank you, Declan. Keep kicking ass. We'll talk soon.